to our very, very first beginner band concert for 2020, which has been a very strange kind of a year. So give them a little bit of a clap, because they need lots of encouragement. This morning there was an audience, because I didn't tell them, it was a bit of a secret, but it's really nice that you are here to be our wonderful audience, a very attentive audience and a very supportive audience as well, because this group unfortunately have had a bit of a rough start. Why might they have had a bit of a rough start? Yeah. So it is, sorry, are you Mila? Yes, good.
Because of coronavirus.
I know, coronavirus kind of ruined so many plans. We actually had a concert that was planned back in May that we had to cancel, which was very sad. Because in my humble opinion, which is obviously very important, I think the first concert is one of the most important concerts of their entire musical career. It's the very first time they perform live to an audience of people that are watching them, and that can be a little bit of a daunting experience. And usually we have their families come in the evening, and it's getting darker and it's cold, and they're in the hall and they're getting all comfy and cozy next to each other and playing some wonderful tunes, but they didn't get that opportunity, so today it's a little bit of a backup plan. So we are going to be filming this today for their families. They can watch it on repeat. They're going to watch it about 493 times, I hope. And hopefully, the good thing is that they can watch themselves play as well, which is quite a nice thing to be able to watch yourself play on camera as well. So, without stalling any further, we're going to start with a piece called Hot Cross Buns. So please put your hands together for our wonderful 139 strong beginner band. Fold and was like, oh my goodness, really? I don't believe you. Because when I turned around, your faces were so good. You were like, okay, that's good. Yeah.
Freestyle, you know, we just sort of were quiet, like,
same.
You know, nobody was like, oh, what was that?
There was no snickers going on, no sniggering. If you've been in the music suite, you know what snickers are. So there was none of that. It was actually a very good audience. But aren't they amazing? They've had 9 rehearsals. Of those 9 rehearsals, one of those was a lot of information and talking. It was the very first rehearsal, when they didn't even know how to set up their instrument. The second rehearsal was a little bit loud, and they still, a lot of them, didn't know how to set up their instrument and didn't know where to put their fingers or which way was up. And then obviously we've had the lockdown interruption as well, and we've met online and done a bit of Zoom sessions as well. And most students came to those, and now we've had, I think this is 2 rehearsals this term since being back, and now we're here performing. Usually in years gone by, we've had about 12 to 13 rehearsal times, and this year we've had 9, and that actually includes one where we just did lots of talking and one where it didn't really go so well. So really, 7. We've had 7. So they're pretty fabulous. We're going to kick it off. We're going to play to you, Louie Louie. performed for you Louie Louie. And as you probably noticed, you got to hear a little bit of a taster of what the different instruments sound like. So we have the trombones, trombone section here. You say give them a bit of a wave. Wave your instrument. Wave your instruments. They can see it nice and high. It's so shiny. Nice big slide. And then we've got our licorice sticks, our clarinets over here. Lots and lots of clarinets. And then we've got our flutes to my right, or to my left, depends which way I'm standing. So we've got our flutes, and we've got 46 flute players, because who wouldn't want to have 46 flute players in the band? And then we've got our wonderful saxophone section. Hooray! All varying colours, and black ones in there. And then we've got our trumpet section at the very back, because they're nice and loud, aren't they? Nice and loud. Can I please invite our clarinet players to come up front? We've got a select few who would like to say a few words about learning the clarinet.
Kia ora, hello, I'm Alice O, and I play the clarinet. So the reason why I chose to play the clarinet is that I found it really cool how many buttons the clarinet has. Of course, not many as a saxophone, but still cool. And but with the other instruments, I found that with the trumpet, your mouth is working very hard. So like your embouchure, I don't know how to say it, but yeah. And the saxophone, like you said, it's too many buttons, valves, whatever it is. And I've experienced the flute, thanks to my sister, and it's very hard for me to play because I can't whistle. And the trombone, well, I just couldn't be bothered to like move that sliding thing around, you know? Yeah, and I figured that some of those instruments are really loud to play inside. My sister, yeah. So I didn't know that there were 17 keys on the clarinet, and the clarinet can play 19 keys with those 19 notes with those 17 keys. Amazing. And the most part I enjoy about being in the band is that one, I get time out of class, obviously, and two, I get to play music with my friends that are not in the same class as me, and three, music. I love music, but it's very loud until Mrs. Holmes calms us down, but still, after that, we're still very loud. Yeah. I hope really actually sound good. And today, our clarinet solo is going to be Raina. I hope you enjoy.
Hi, I'm Emma Mackerel and I play the clarinet. I was actually going to pick the flute because I've always wanted to play the flute. I can't whistle, so I chose the clarinet. I'm very happy with my decision to play the clarinet. I love hearing the tunes I play when I get the notes and the beats right. Joe and Christopher Denon invented the clarinet with the help of his son, Jacob. The clarinet has 17 keys. Some have more than one function. Did you know that a clarinet is the loudest instrument peaking at 114 decibels, and a trombone peaks at around 115 decibels? The best part of being in the band program at MBIS is when you get to hear all the different instruments play together at once. Now the clarinets will play.
Kia ora. My name is Jessa Lamb and I play the clarinet. In the beginning, I was actually interested in the trumpet, but then I saw the clarinet. I like the clean noise it makes and how it's not too loud by itself. I also enjoy how easy it is to start learning the notes and how many buttons it has. Some interesting facts about the clarinet are, clarinets are one of the newer orchestral instruments. A beginner clarinet can play a note within the first 10 minutes of instruction. And lastly, making a sound with the clarinet is easier than making a sound with any other instrument. I can tell one of my favourite things about beginner band is that I get to meet my friends from other classrooms and have fun. But sometimes it can get a bit loud. Now the clarinets will play a piece for you called Rhino. Hope you enjoy.
Count them to 4. Here we go, Rhino. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are now going to perform a piece to you called Hey. Say a few words about playing the flute. We're having a bit of a discussion about who's going to go first. What instrument do I play? Who knows? Don't answer. Don't. Who knows? What do I play? Lachlan. Oh, hang on, that's cheating. You were in the band last year. Yeah, I play the flute. So I could talk about the flute, but I'd rather hear from you. Do you want to say something about the flute? Yeah, you were planned. And you were good. Oh, Dania's going first. Here you go, Dania. Wow. Yeah. We got there at the end. Okay, great.
Hi, I'm Dania, and I play the flute. I choose to play the flute because apparently it sounds cool when you play the Peppa Pig theme song on it. I like the instrument because it's small and walking with it is no problem. And because I can show my family how well I improved. The standard flute has about 3 octaves. Oh, boring! Here's some real facts. George Washington, James Madison, and Leonardo da Vinci all played the flute. Yeah, I know, 3 idols played this instrument. Big deal. A flute has technically any open tube that you can blow in it to produce sound. Even an empty Coke bottle can. Yep, you can make a symphony with that. The flute requires more air than any other instrument, including the tuba. Yeah, I guess all flute players can relate with the dizziness I get. My favorite part of being in the MBI program is listening to everybody's progress everybody has made. And Miss Holmes' lollies. Oops, should have not said that.
Now, I know I don't have a piece of paper or a very long thing to say why I chose the flute, but I chose the flute because it's very lightweight and it's not heavy like a trombone or saxophone. Believe me, I know. My sister plays the saxophone. I chose the flute because I've always wanted to play it since I was a child, and, well, I still am a child, but since I was smaller. Yes, but... And one of the most interesting facts I learned about the flute was that it was invented 40,000 years ago, and it was a log with some holes in it. Yeah, that was the flute.
Kia ora. My name is Mira and I play the flute. Ever since I discovered the musical world, I always wanted to play in a band or an orchestra. So I was thrilled at the opportunity to join a beginner band. So I listened carefully to all the different instruments. I remember how the beautiful and calming sound of the flute and how clear it is had really made my decision for me. And did you know the flute only weighs 400 to 600 grams? That's less than the average adult's hand. When I learned that, my choice had to be flute. The flute also carries a lot of history, heritage, and culture. Scientists estimate that the very first flute was made between 35 to 43,000 years ago. And as a flutist, flautist, flute player, fluter, flutinist, we're amazing enough to earn 5 different names, I highly recommend giving the flute a go. And if you haven't already, giving any kind of music a go. It will take practice and patience, but once you get where you want to be, it's extremely rewarding. And it's super cool that you can do it with your friends and even make new ones along the way. With Mrs. Holmes as the band teacher, band is extremely enjoyable, and flute lessons are a blast with Mr. Leon. Yes. And the flutes will play a tisket a tasket.
Hey, it's me, Ollie, right here. I'm not really good at the flute. I really wanted to do it when I was like from 7 when I first saw it in England. And now I get the chance to do it. I might not be that good at it, but it's been a good ride, and I've had fun playing it with the band.
I think you guys might know this one, but if I have the tiger.
Going to invite the trumpets out to say a few words about why they chose to learn the trumpet, and then after that we're going to probably move on to the trombones because we're running out of time, running out of concert, and we have one really exciting piece to play for you because I know that you've heard lots of very short pieces, but the beginner band have been working on a really long piece, like a whole page piece, not just 2 lines, but an entire A4 page, and they'd like to play that for you today as well shortly. But first we'll hear from the trumpets.
ora, ko Sophie toku ingawa. I play the trumpet here at MBI, and one of the best things about the trumpet is when you get a perfect note. It sounds so cool. Trumpet-like instruments have historically been used as signaling devices in battle and hunting, with examples dating back to at least 1,500 years BC. They began to be used as musical instruments only in the late 14th or early 15th century. And although the trumpet has only 3 valves, there are 8 combinations, but you can play even higher or lower with a tighter or looser embouchure. The trumpets are generally considered to be one of the loudest instruments in the modern orchestra, which can come in very handy for annoying your siblings in the early hours of the morning. An interesting fact about the trumpet is that even though it fits comfortably in your hands, when you unravel it, it gets to 6.5 feet tall, which is about the size of your average door frame.
Hi, my name is Ellie and I play the trumpet. I've got to be honest, I chose the trumpet because it looked the easiest to play, but it's not. What I like about the trumpet is how satisfying it is to play the right note cleanly and pressing the valves down smoothly. There are 4 celebrities that you may not know played the trumpet: Samuel L. Jackson, the YouTuber Markiplier, Steven Tyler, and Kesha. Although the trumpet fits in... early trumpets did not have valves and keys. These were actually not added until around 1820. Modern trumpets are made from brass, but early trumpets were made from other materials such as shell and wood. My favorite part of being in the MBIS band is probably Mrs. Holmes and the music we play. Now the trumpets will play Eye of the Tiger. Hope you enjoy.
Because we loved Eye of the Tiger so much, give them a round of applause. So trumpets, Eye of the Tiger. I nearly forgot about a really cool piece. Do you guys know Queen? A little band called Queen. You heard of them before? Oh, you have. Good. Okay, here we go. We're going to play a bit of a mashup between a couple of Queen pieces for you. We Will Rock You and another one, Bites the Dust. They want to do it, just for fun. Last week, I told them, because we're so good at beginner band, we are such talented human beings and such fine musicians, that we are so good we can play that same piece of music upside down, back to front. So that's what they're going to do now. And it sounds quite different. It kind of sounds a bit like Baby Elephant Walk to me, but we're going to play it upside down, back to front, just for fun. So this is beginner band waiting 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This is You Rock Will We. You rock, are we? It's always a bit exciting when they play something and it sounds like something you know. That's pretty good going for a group that have only had 9 lessons ever. 9 lessons, and they can already play all these notes. It's pretty amazing, and they do deserve a clap for that because, man, it takes hard work. Saxophones. So I'm going to bring out a couple of saxophone players who are going to talk to you about why they chose to play the saxophone. Interested to hear what they've got to say. Hands up, beginner band who's never played an instrument before this year. There's a bit of a mixture. So some students had played another instrument. Hands up if you'd played this instrument before this year. No one. You had one person. But everybody else, this is brand new, and it's pretty amazing that only partway into term 2, they can already play songs that sound like songs. Much to, I think, maybe your parents' surprise.
Zdravo, hola and hello. My name is Antonia and I play the alto sax. You may wonder why I chose this instrument. And the reason is, it's because it's a nice smoothing jazz sound and it's the coolest. Now I will tell you some interesting facts about this instrument. But before I do, I don't want to bore you with these stuff. So I'll make it quick. Here are 3 cool facts. First, did you know that there were once 14 different types of saxophones? And some of them were the alto saxophone, of course, saxophone, tenor, soprano, and E-flat alto. 2, it's the only brass woodwind. From its earliest days, the saxophone was always made of brass. However, because it generates sound from a single reed, it's classified as a woodwind. 3, the saxophone family is known as a positional family of instruments due to the fact that you do not have to alter the fingering when you're playing different ones. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jake Steele and I play the alto sax. I'm going to tell you why I played it and facts about the alto sax. So let's get into it. I wanted to play the sax because it's easy and it's the coolest. Which is true. It's got a really nice sound to it. Time for the facts. There are 500 to 900 million players that play the alto sax, including me. The sax was created in 1846 by Adolphe Sax. So he named the instrument after his last name. Great. And also, the one reason why I really wanted to play it, because I'm not a musical person and I absolutely love sports. And when I saw the saxophone, I'm like, this is going to change my life forever. And now the saxophones are going to play Hot Muffins. Thank you.
About the trombone, and then we've got one more piece to play for you, which is a bit of a masterpiece. Liam.
Kia ora tātou, ko habits taku whānau, ko Liam taku ingoa. In other words, greeting. Hi, I'm Liam Harbits, and I'm one of the trombonists for beginner band. The trombone is a really cool instrument. Sure, it's big and heavy, but who cares if you can do a slide fart on it? Plus, it's a lot different to the other instruments because it's got a slide, which is that thing, and it doesn't have any buttons, or valves, whatever you want to call them. Did you know that the trombone was originally called the sack butt? That's weird, isn't it? I mean, who would call the instrument a suck butt? But then later they made the bell bigger, which is that thing, and they called it the trombone, which means big trumpet. Where am I? Sorry. But anyway, I got another fact for you. The trombone was invented by, can't say it properly, what was it? Heinrich Stolzen? Heinrich Stolzen in the 1820s at Vienna. Now we, the trombones, are going to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
An old favourite. I know you're excited, me too. One of my favourites. Here we go. Oh, one, two, three, one defining difference between the trombone that sets them apart from all of the other instruments that we have is one, they're playing in a completely different clef. So they're playing in the bass clef down really low, whilst all the other instruments are playing in treble. But also, they don't have something they don't have. What is the thing they don't have? What is missing? What's missing? Buttons. Buttons. There are no buttons, there are no keys. That means they've actually got something called a slide position, and there are 7 of them, and they have to know how far to put their arm down and know what the note's going to sound like before they even play it, so they know what to do with their mouths. It's a very complicated but such an important instrument of the band, and we are so lucky to have 6 of them this year. It's very exciting. Our very last piece for you is a masterpiece. It's the Forrest Gump feather theme, which you probably may or may not know, and I know the bell's gone, but this is far more fun and far more important, and I would love for you to hear it. It is our very last piece. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience. The quieter you are, the faster that you can go to morning tea. Shh, shh. How nicely can you sit up? Can you be like, you know, oh, look at that. How nicely can you sit up when you play your final finale? Oh, good. Did we do all the instruments? We did, good.
Thank you.
It's pretty epic, actually. I don't need to tell you how epic that is. That's incredible that you guys can do what you're doing in such a short space of time. So proud right now. You know when your mums and dads are proud and they're like, I'm a bit like that. I'm very excited. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being such a fine audience. I know that you're very excited to go to morning tea. Don't be too excited, because that was very fun. Who had a good time? You had a good time? Yeah, give them one last round of applause, please. Our wonderful beginner band. Don't fight over it.
Thank you for being a fantastic audience, and we'll continue to do so nice and still and settled for the next 2 minutes. This is a very, very important part of the band concert, and that is the fact that we thank them. And what I want to say is how wonderful to all be able to be together in one space again. Our whānau is together, and to be able to listen to music that is so uplifting. I was a little bit worried when I heard hot cross buns at the start, but I had heard you practice from my office and I thought, oh, this can't be right. And fortunately, I was right. You were fantastic. I'm hearing all of the sounds coming together. I'm hearing you end in the right places. I'm hearing some harmony come through on some of your pieces as well. And well done when you've had very, very few live practices. Let's give them a huge round of applause. And to Mrs. Holmes, who somehow has managed to Zoom meet, we know how hard it is with 30 kids, 139 kids, was it? Yeah.
They didn't all come, but most of them.
Well, we can tell because it's the practice that makes the difference. So thank you for making band so much fun, and we really look forward to hearing your progress as the year progresses. So big thank you to Mrs. Holmes from everyone too. Great.